I had to go through all of the struggles and challenges that everyone goes through. So when I first joined, I was so excited because I'd heard about network marketing. I'd clued myself up on it. I saw what it could do for you, and I was pretty excited about where my life was going. But then at the same time, I had fear, which I know you all have. Fear of failing, fear of succeeding, fear of looking silly, friends of annoying my friends on Facebook, all the same fears that you have. I had it all. But then I would have celebrations every time I hit a milestone, or every time one of my girls promoted, major celebrations with my team, the best feeling in the world. But then that self-doubt would creep in, and it still does to this day. I think it's just nature of human beings, you know, we all have negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. But, you know, it's part of human nature, it's part of the journey, you just have to go with it. There were times I made mistakes, there were times parties would flop, I would fail at times, but then they were the lessons. It was good feedback, I learned from them. And so as you can see, it was up and down, but there was a general trend upwards, and I honestly believe that that trend was powered by resilience, and I will get to that in a little bit. So my first tip for you all is to make the decision to be all in with this. I think that people have two start dates with Unique. There's the day that they join, and very often I have people say to me, well, I'll just see how it goes, you know, hopefully I'll try. I really want to be black. And you just know that with that kind of language, that they're literally dipping their toe in and they're not really all in. Then you have your second start date, and that is when you decide you are gonna make it happen. The language changes, both feet are in, and you know that they're going to the top. So, you know, make the decision today to be all in and to treat this like a business. Know the difference between a business and a job. Two very, very different entities. With a job, you're paid just for showing up, but you have glass ceilings. Sometimes there's nepotism, sexism, not what you know, who you know. You're not really paid on what you're worth. Then you've got a business. And with a business, especially this business, there is no glass ceiling. You are paid directly on what you're worth, but the catch is, you're not paid just for showing up. You have to make it happen, it's on you. You have to take accountability for your business, and your success does not rely on your sponsor. It does not rely on Unique, it's completely down to you. So make the decision to be all in, treat it like a business, and work on your belief system. So I've written at the bottom here, it takes a lot of faith and it takes a lot of belief, but it works. A lot of the time, when you tell people the earning potential of network marketing, you'll hear them say something. They'll say, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Mm-hmm. And I would challenge those people that actually it's the other way around. You will see it when you believe it. Mm. You have to have the belief first, not just in network marketing, but in Unique, in their products, most importantly, in yourself. Vitally important. So I'll talk about self-development in a little bit. I think everybody's probably going to talk about it today. Okay, so in network marketing, in all business, there is this magical tipping point. I like to call it my friend Mo from the book, The Compound Effect. Mo is momentum, and it's what we are all aiming for. The analogy in the compound effect is the merry-go-round that you see in kids' playgrounds, and you think about what you have to do to get that merry-go-round spinning. In the beginning, that's when you exert most of the effort. You really have to push hard to get the merry-go-round spinning. Once it starts spinning, you can step on, and you're carried with the merry-go-round. And every now and then you have to put your foot down to keep it spinning. Your business is very, very similar. Once you get balls rolling, you bring ladies into your business, they get recruiting. If you are the one that starts those balls and you're the one that puts in the effort, you can get momentum pretty quickly. But here's the thing, momentum is much easier to keep than it is to build. So once your merry-go-round starts spinning, don't stop. Don't just sit on it and think, right, I'm going to ride it now. Don't stop working, because that is the quickest way to lose momentum. That's when you really put your foot down to get it going. Another analogy that I absolutely love that really, really does relate to network marketing is the aeroplane. An aeroplane uses 90% of its fuel to get off the ground. Once it's up in the air, it doesn't take as much. It's exactly the same with your business. You really have to put in massive energy early on. So how do you gain momentum? That's the question. There's 3 core activities that we do in network marketing, in Unique. First of all, we sell. And you need to become a good seller. You know, that's imperative. If you can't sell, you're not going to be able to train your girls in how to sell. And you can be the best recruiter in the world, but if your team isn't selling, you have nothing. So selling is very important. Then you have sponsoring, which is the gateway skill in network marketing. And then once you bring ladies in, you need to coach them and you need to mentor them to achieve their goals. Now, what I find happens most of the time, this is one of the first traps that people fall into, is they focus all of their time and energy on selling and mentoring. They get really hung up on them, especially because we're women, especially mentoring, because mentoring really fits in well with our feminine natures. You know, we're nurturers, we're carers, we're mothers, we want to see people do well. That's our comfort zone. So what I usually see happen is people bring a few people into the business and then they go into care mode, they start managing. When really, sponsoring is what's going to get you momentum. That is going to make all the difference in the world to your business. That is where it all starts. And it's more of a male skill, you know, going out and convincing people and overcoming objections. Even the language is male, but that is really what is going to grow you, and that's where your attention needs to be if you're going to build momentum. Personally, I like to work to the 5-3 formula, and I incentivize my team on the 5-3 as a bare minimum. So for those of you that don't know, the 5-3 formula is where you sell $500 a month and you recruit 3 people, minimum. When I started, I was recruiting over 10 people a month. And if I recruited any less than 8 or 9, I would be unhappy with myself because I really wanted to build quickly. So I would recommend, if you haven't seen, I think it's Bree Richardson's video on the 5-3, I recommend that you all go watch it. Okay, so the next mistake that I see people make is they try to make people into something that they're not. You're going to get 2 kinds of people that come into your business. First of all, you're going to get the chickens. And the chickens come into your business and they'll come up to you and they'll say, "It's not working, no one's buying from me." And you'll say, "Well, what have you tried? You know, have you done an online party?" And they'll say, "I did one, but it didn't work." And so you say, okay, and you explain that parties are a networking exercise as well. It's not all about sales, and you give them some tools and you give them some self-development and you pick the chicken up and you throw it in the air, fly chicken. And it's like a week. And the chicken comes back and they say, "Nothing's working. I tried recruiting and nobody wants to join my team." And so you say, "Well, how many people have you spoken to?" And they'll say, "I spoke to my mum and I spoke to my sister and they both laughed at me." And so you explain that you have to speak to a lot of people in this business, and you pick the chicken up and you give it some self-development and some tools and some training, and you throw it in the air and you say, "Fly chicken." And it's not long before the chicken comes back and they're complaining and playing the blame game and making excuses after excuses. Whereas when you bring an eagle into this business, they've found the training website before you've even got them started, before you've even announced them to the team. They're off and running, they hit white status, yellow status, they're just rocking with it. And there are plenty of eagles out there, plenty of eagles, just waiting for an opportunity like this. And it's our job to sort through the chickens to find the eagles. That's what we do. We're headhunters, essentially. And if you're finding that your business isn't growing and you're not getting anywhere and you're trying to figure out why, it's probably because you haven't got any eagles in your team yet. And the best way I know to find eagles is to be the eagle. Now, I love and hate this analogy. I love it because it describes what we do so well, but I hate it because I don't like referring to people as chickens. And so I'm not saying don't love your chickens. Love everybody. Let everybody make this what they want it to be. You know, everybody joins us for different reasons, but what I am saying is don't rely on people. Don't fall in love with people's potential. Don't keep throwing chickens in the air, expecting them to take off and run to green. And don't try and make people be, you know, what they're not. Sometimes chickens turn into cheagles, and sometimes cheagles turn into cheagles. You can't call it. But Matt Morris says if you keep throwing chickens in the air, you're just going to get chicken shit on you. Okay, so I've written here that management mode is the deadliest place for your business and the biggest trap that people fall into. How do you know if you're in management mode? So ask yourself, what are you doing on a daily basis? Is your time spent buried in your inbox talking to your team the whole time? Are you spending your days recording videos for your team, putting on trainings, getting other people into your team group to do live trainings? If your time is totally spent trying to get your downline duplicating, but you're not actually out there duplicating yourself, then you're in management mode. And that is the quickest way to lose all the momentum in your business because it starts with you. So if you're in build mode, it means you spend your days offering the opportunity, organising online parties, focusing on your sales, developing those raging fans. If you're spending your day doing that, then you are in build mode. And if I've learned anything in this business, if you want depth, then build wide. Because when you build wide, the cream rises to the top, the eagles will fly. You build your front line nice and wide, you get recruiting, and it will happen. But we don't ride on other people. Okay, as far as Unique's concerned, I think we're pretty good for this. We have like a culture of uplift, empower, and validate. But I think when you get a huge amount of women all together working in close proximity, it's only natural that every now and then drama will arise. Mm-hmm. And you'll get some he said, she said nonsense in your inbox, and people will come to you saying, oh, so-and-so reported me, and you will get it. If you haven't yet, you will. Other things that go on, people selling things on eBay and Wish, cheaper products elsewhere, or maybe somebody wrote an article that's bashing Unique on the internet, and somebody messages you about it. My advice is don't get hung up on that stuff. Don't get drawn into it. I've seen people literally waste a week where they could have been focusing on their business, gossiping and talking about this kind of stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff, and all of that is small stuff. When people come to me and they're moaning about this kind of thing, I will just ask them one question. Is focusing on this serving you? Is this growing your business in any way? And if the answer is no, why are you giving it your attention? Because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. And where your energy flows, that's what's going to grow. So don't give your attention to things that you don't want to get bigger. Focus on all the things that are going to kind of push you forward. I like this little exercise. So this is something that Rob Morris did in the Black Status Retreat in 2016, do you remember? And he asked us, who relates? I'm going to ask you now, who relates to this list of traits needed to be a top leader? So, good timekeeping, organizational skills, the ability to set goals effectively, delegating, public speaking and presentation skills, entrepreneurial flair, being a good seller, planning well, management skills. Sounds quite corporate, doesn't it?